Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy, Ernest Dove, your favorite Mets prospect hugger slash reporter, host of the Mets Minor League Report, part of Sports Wire Radio, SPORTZ, wireradio.org. You could also find me on maxmets.blogspot.com and right here on my YouTube page for all things Mets, prospects, videos, St. Lucie Mets game highlights, and more. My guest today is a 22-year-old left-handed pitcher in the New York Mets organization, originally taken in the fifth round of the 2023 draft out of Grand Canyon University. During the 2024 MILB season, he made a total of 20 appearances, 12 as a starter, with a combined 4.10 ERA across two minor league levels, low A and high A. In five of his 12 starts, he pitched five or more scoreless innings, leading to a combined 3.40 ERA in his games that he started. Let's talk some baseball, off-season, pitching, and more with the man they call Thor, the one and only Zach Thornton. Zork. Zach, how are you, my friend?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I love the idea of calling somebody in the Mets Thor, so that's going to be pretty interesting for as
Yeah.
long as we keep that going.
I'm just missing the hair now and a few bicep pumps away from it.
All right, well then it's something to work on, man. I've heard a lot of good things about the nutritional program, so maybe you can put on the extra 20, 30 pounds of muscle.
We're doing the main goal this offseason, putting on weight, getting stronger, and just moving better.
This is my first time being able to interview you, so I want to be able to start things kind of like from the very beginning. So if you could please do like all of us a favor and the honor of basically kind of introducing yourself, letting us know your arsenal of pitches at this point, and like what kind of pitcher you are on the mound.
Yeah. So I'm a left-handed pitcher. I don't light up the radar gun too much, but I do mix in a lot of different speeds. My fastball will be anywhere from 90 to 92, 93, 94 sometimes. Then I'll throw a cutter off of that. I have a two seam, a changeup, a curveball, and then a little slider. So I do a good job of mixing speeds, locations. Yeah, but yeah,
Well, it's always good to be a lefty first and foremost in this league. So that's where you start off. That's where the excitement starts for most people. I also, before we get into pro ball, I have to go ahead and kind of go back in time a bit. I mentioned in the intro about being drafted, and I wanted to know like what was your overall experience, even if it was the day of, or like your overall kind of thing that happened during the draft and your time that led to you getting drafted.
yeah. So I went out to the combine about a month prior to the draft. Met with the Mets, had a really good talk with them. Didn't really think anything of it. My whole draft thought process was I'm going to end up with the Arizona spring training team. That's kind of where I was comfortable with. That's where Grand Canyon was at. So kind of had my heart set on an Arizona team, and then all of a sudden we come out the draft day and we're sitting right out here in our back patio and we get a phone call from my agency and they're saying the Mets want you in the fifth. So I haven't looked back from that since then.
And then, hey, you've been ready to go and ready to rock ever since. So tell me a little bit about, how did you feel that this first season of yours went in 2024?
I felt really positive about it. I got banged up, a little bit of an oblique injury towards the middle part of the season. So I'm doing everything I can this off season to make sure we don't have another one of those incidents in this next upcoming season, and just trying to stay healthy for the full year. But moving from low A to high A, that's kind of when I hit my stride, I would say, and I started throwing the ball a heck of a lot better out there in Brooklyn. I just kind of pitched into who I was at Grand Canyon a little bit, being on the attack at all times. I kind of pride myself with first pitch strikes, race to 2K, all the good analytic stuff that they're putting together for us nowadays. Yeah, I'm a true competitor on that mound. I don't want anyone to take the ball away from me. If I'm starting a game, I want to be in the ninth inning at the end of it. It's me versus the hitter, and I'm ready to attack.
And it was one thing I did want to mention because I talked about in the intro about 20 appearances, 12 of them starts. And then when I started to dive into the numbers, I did notice that almost literally half of your starts, 5 out of 12, you went at least 5 to 6 innings of shutout ball. So I'm kind of curious, and I know even the Mets organization now and a lot of organizations, they like pride themselves on even pen arms are going 2, 3 innings. But then in the Mets organization, because they have so many talented guys, even starters are kind of piggybacking and everything else. And I wanted to know, like, how did it feel, sometimes building up the strength to 5, 6 innings, shutouts, and then other times they only want you or get you in there for 2 or 3. Like, is it a mindset thing? Does it seem kind of off, or are you able to just handle anything at that moment? But I'm curious about the changes in innings each time.
Yeah, I think our job as a pitcher is to go out, get outs when we are asked, and no questions about it. That's our job, regardless if it's in the bottom of the ninth or the top of the first inning. We're going to go out, do our job, and get outs. But for my case, when I was kind of going little short 2 inning spurts, we were doing that from the rehab side of things, from the oblique. So just monitoring that pitch count. So I never really went above probably the 80 pitch mark this year. I don't think once. Um, but yeah, once I was able to start starting games and kind of getting into a rhythm, that's just who I am as a pitcher. I want the ball. I want to start. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, you never know. Maybe you didn't have some of the greatest outings in St. Lucie because you were nervous about some of the people in the stands. I mean, it's okay. I didn't mean to make
Okay.
you, feel away. I apologize for that. I'm much better in Brooklyn. Um, all right, so I wanted to get into now, obviously, the end of the season and the off season because again, the season's over, but not really, not for the major leaguers and not for the minor leaguers. So even right off the bat, you and I were talking a little bit before we started taping. Can you tell me about how things went for you, even immediately when season ended, and now through this off season so far in your training?
Yeah, so when season ended, we all met down there in St. Lucie at the spring training site and was able to throw in that pitcher's lab that everybody's talking about. So that was fun to just kind of see the way your body moves, kind of incorporate some new movements in there, and just kind of make a change. See if you can move your body a little bit better to sneak a few extra miles an hour out of there.
Yeah, it's one of the things too. I know it's always about, the miles per hour and then also the spin rate and everything else. Now,
Good
even
animal.
from your experiences from amateur to pro, like did you have certain forms of metrics or any kind of analytics or Rapsodo type stuff in amateur or college ball?
Yeah, so our pitching coach at Grand Canyon, Nathan Bannister, is one of the better pitching coaches I've ever had in my life. I still communicate with him every day. He was big on analytics, but he never really pushed it on upon anyone to say, "Hey, this is what you have to do." And, he was a field guy, same as me. I never really dove deep into analytics at the college level. I just kind of in my bullpens, hey, if my slider looks right and it feels right, I'm okay with it because I know I can go get somebody out with that pitch.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the slider, I've been joking about it in social media a bit. I know, like the Mets organization for the last year or two, they seem to be all about cutters and sweepers. I don't know. Have they been trying to approach you or working with you on those type of tweaks on certain pitches in your arsenal like that?
Yeah, so I've always thrown a cutter that came from college. That's a pitch that the Mets really like in my arsenal. We tried throwing a sweeper mostly all year, and I incorporated it a little bit. It was just kind of a show me pitch, just to get guys off the cutter, get guys off the fastball, change the speeds, change the eye level on them a little bit. But yeah, the sweeper is definitely one that I will take a deeper dive into this offseason, along with the curveball. Just kind of get those breaking balls down.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, they love it. It seems like that's the thing. I mean, and also, I mean, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to as we head to soon enough into the new year and then into spring for the new season?
I think just being around all those guys, it just I feel as though the way that the big league team's season ended, I think they ended on a positive note. Obviously, they didn't play in November, play in the World Series, but I think making the NLCS with the expectations that they had this year, I think that's tremendous for the organization. And then I think it'll just trickle down to minor league because I think winning's contagious. I think the guys that we have in the big league clubhouse and the guys that we have in the minor league clubhouse, we kind of all have a similar vision of what the Mets want to be like in 2025, 2026, 2027, and we're all kind of pushing for that.
Yeah, and I always do. I find that fascinating a lot too, because obviously even us fans, we're always excited about the team getting better, signing a big guy. But then I'm always curious how the minor leaguers feel because you guys are the future. Like, do you guys sit around and like not necessarily be all over social media waiting for a notification of a signing, but do you guys like when these big things go down and like the monster signings, even from whatever years ago, like the Lindor and the newer ones that are coming out, when these monster guys and these things are happening with the Mets and making the NLS, do you guys get excited about? Do you talk about like not only the excitement of the organization, but then like wanting to join it soon? Like, what's that like for you guys on your level?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really exciting for us. We get to watch those guys. We get to see their processes. Just their process of how they go about their business in the spring, and then kind of carrying on over into the real MLB season. But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I think winning's contagious, and the big league level is doing a good job of kind of having that trickle down. Just having a guy like C. Scott being around the clubhouse, being around all those minor league guys, it's good to kind of ask questions about his routines or something at the big league level, what changes at the big league level, because obviously there's going to be a lot of change up there. But it's good to have those guys around there. Like, unfortunately, we just traded Orzi away, but he was a good guy to talk to about kind of the changes up at the big league level.
Well, yeah, and speaking of trading, I was joking with you also off air. Like, do you guys or do you think about or almost semi just worry about being traded at any moment, especially for now in Mets organization? You know, we saw all the trades at the deadline. Like, rest in peace to my Tyler Stewart, who is now in the Nats organization. Like, do you guys also think about, oh, I want to be this dream of going to the World Series now with Steve Cohen and the Mets? But now at the same time, do you ever think about, well, wait, what if they try to package me in a deal for another future Juan Soto or some superstar like a Crochet at the White Sox right now?
Yeah, exactly. I don't really try to. I don't like thinking about that because I like where I'm at with the Mets, and we always say there's no better time to be a Met than right now. I sure hope they don't throw me in any of those trade packages because I love the staff. I love the pitching coordinators over there. They treat me with respect. I treat them with respect, and it kind of just goes both ways. But I love being a Met. I love the city of New York. I love the city of Brooklyn and Coney Island. But yeah, I just want to give them all I got and get up there to Queens.
Yeah, and you're getting up there soon enough. I know obviously you've played both of the A ball levels at this point. So obviously next thing's up. They always make the stereotype of double A being the show me level, both for the hitters and the pitchers. So I guess too, while I have you for a little bit longer, do you have any thoughts on like hitting the upper echelon of the upper minors at some point, even if you break camp right away in double A?
Yeah, I don't think too much changes. I think they're gonna put you there for a reason, and you just got to believe that you're there for a reason. We wouldn't be in the minor league clubhouse if we weren't good or anything. That's just the self confidence you got to carry with yourself going up level to level. But I do think, like you said, I double A would probably be the hardest jump other than maybe triple A to the major leagues. But going from high A to double A, I think that's where you really start to see the big boppers in the lineup and guys know how to pitch. You know how to use their repertoire pretty well, and the hitters kind of go up there with a solidified approach, and they're able to change it if they need to based on what they've been seeing throughout the series. So I think those guys are just more of a professional level hitters than what you I mean you know best down in low A. You've probably seen some guys taking hacks at curveballs 50 feet in the dirt. So I just think the decision making of the hitters is different at that level. And then yeah, I think their bat to ball skills are probably just a little bit better as well.
Yeah, I know it's always something to worry about. I know like just yeah, the different types of plate discipline or the guys who don't swing out of their shoes when they're like 18, 19, trying to show off.
Which I get it though. I get it. They got a bunch of people in front of them. They're trying to get their A swing off and hit a 500-foot bomb. I get it.
Oh, of course. And even the pitchers, they're trying to hit 98 plus on the radar, but it's maybe not going in the strike zone. So
So, yeah. And that's what I do pride myself on. I like to locate my fastball and pitch with my fastball a little bit, which is very unlike the modern day pitcher. And I
mhm.
think you said the a pitcher trying to get to 7 innings is just kind of like a lost art in the sport of baseball now.
Well, yeah. And and pitching in general now, the one guy that's going to easily come to my mind, Mets related, is going to be Jose Butto. So for a guy like that, do you ever think about a guy like that in the purpose of, I mean, I'm talking about even pen arms go multiple innings, starters barely go more than five or six. So like when you think ahead to yourself, double A, triple A in like City Field, do you even think about starter versus reliever as your goal, or is it just I'll pitch and see what happens? Like, what are some of the thoughts you have between the two?
Yeah, I mean, if the quickest I could make a major league roster, if they want to throw me in the bullpen, I would love to do that. I just want to go get outs in Queens for the Mets in Citi Field. Regardless if I'm starting a game or coming out of the bullpen, following Christian Scott, it doesn't matter. I just want to be up there contributing to that team and winning with them.
And hopefully you're going to get that chance soon enough. I know the teams and even the affiliates are getting stronger by the year. And as we start to wrap up, if you want to talk about any kind of shout outs that you want to give, or do you want to hype anybody up or any kind of coaches or teammates?
Yeah, I just want to give some shout outs to, I mean, Eric Jaggers. He does a really good job with all pitching, everything. I mean, he's above everybody and he does a good job. He knows everybody's analytics on the right out of his brain. I mean, he's smarter than they get. And
Yeah.
then Jordan Kraus, the pitching coach over in St. Lucie, him and I worked a lot this summer and created a good friendship bond right there. And then Dan McKinney, the Brooklyn Cyclones pitching coach, him and I bonded well. My last little bit out there. Kyle Rogers as well. He's been a good help to me. He's kind of the movement guy. So whenever I'm looking at like videos of mechanics or anything, that's my guy that I'll go to, and he's a super smart brain as well.
Yeah, shout out Dan McKinney. I know about the gentleman, and I've even heard good things about you within the little organization of sorts. So definitely shout out him, and I know he's big on analytics as well. So I bet he's good to talk about these things that are above my head, but not above yours. As far as spin rates and the type of pitches and the break and all that. So you're in good hands going up the levels. Although it does sound like there's going to be a lot of turnover. So I don't know how many new faces you're going to see from the coaching and staff levels in spring. So hopefully, obviously, you'll be able to adjust quickly. But obviously, thank you so much for being on the show today. And before I let you go, do you want to even have any kind of last minute shout outs, even if it's personal for family or loved ones, or if you want to plug or hype anything like the facilities or trainers or anything, even for the off season?
Yeah, my parents are sitting right over here. They're big followers of you on Twitter, so I want to tell you to keep up the good work and keep pubbing out all the Mets minor leaguers.
That's what I'm trying to do. I swear, I keep trying to avoid the sarcastic comments, but sometimes I can't help myself. I should always stick to the minor leagues, but for some reason, it always escapes me to just go ahead and follow my own advice. But hey, maybe some of you all love it. Maybe a lot of you hate it, and you're like, Dove, just stick to the prospects and stop everything else. I'm gonna try.
I remember you in the postseason. I think you called maybe the Pete Alonso home run against Milwaukee. Did you call that one?
I did. I did a couple of them. I think I had one where I said that Alvarez was due, and he sure enough he hit one out. And it was like hilarious. I'm like, he's due to make a change and end this game, and then like in the ninth inning, he roped it and knocked it over the wall. So I get my 15 minutes. Maybe this latest interview will give me my latest 15 minutes of fame with Zach Thornton. So hey, maybe we'll look for the best. I'll keep trying to hype myself, be on my grind while you're on your grind on your way to the upper minors and the major leagues. Everyone obviously keep an eye out on him and in the box scores, or even on MILB TV if you guys have those packages to watch the minor league games. There's a lot of great radio broadcasters all throughout the Mets organization. Obviously, we love our guy like Justin Rock and all them and A-Ball, but there's just as good a guys in Double A and Triple A. So you'll be able to hear a good game, watch a good game, and you might see a great Zach Thornton on the mound. And hey, if you guys can continue to support the show, don't forget to click subscribe so you guys keep me going on this so I can stay on my grind. And again, thank you so much for being on the show, Zach. And hey, I'll see all you guys next time.
Awesome.